Good evening, everyone. I'd like to welcome you to the Otsego City Council meeting. Tonight is Monday, July 28th. Audra, can you have the record show that our city attorney, city planner, city engineer, along with all council members and the city administrator are present. At this time, I'll ask you all to join us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Our first item of business this evening is the open forum. This is the portion of the meeting where you can come to the podium and state your name and address and limit comments to 3 minutes or less. Would anyone like to speak this evening?
Hello, my name is Renee Dean, and my address is 17024 56 Circle Northeast, Otsego. And I will do my very best to keep this to 3 minutes. I time myself to even make sure.
Okay.
So I'm a member of the Rogers Youth Hockey Association and a concerned Otsego resident who came to the city council meeting in February 2025 seeking help for our project. I'm here to discuss Otsego's decline in our request, as well as a false narrative that has been created and used to mislead the public by one of your own city council members. Before I go any further, I want to say that I understand and respect how difficult it is to sit in your seats. I know that you're not going to please everyone, and that each decision you make comes with pressure and scrutiny, and I don't take that lightly. But that's why it was especially disheartening to see Council Member Ryan Dunlap publicly share a condescending and inaccurate narrative of our request, claiming that we asked Otsego for $5 million to close the gap on our project. That is simply not true. We never have made a direct financial ask of that size. And I think we could all agree that would be an unreasonable ask. We asked for help, period. And that's clearly documented in both the February 2025 council meeting video in which I spoke, and then the original statement I made, which I brought with me tonight. There was an additional meeting between the two cities and the Rogers Youth Hockey Association, where the city of Otsego was made aware of a $5 million gap. And Rogers Youth Hockey Association asked, what is Otsego willing to do to help? For those who don't know, Rogers Youth Hockey Association contributes an estimated $40,000 to $50,000 annually to the city of Otsego through charitable gambling proceeds. While the city has stated that it is entitled to allocate those funds as it sees fit, that doesn't make it morally right to ignore where this money is coming from or who it's meant to support. This was and is a perfect opportunity to repurpose even a portion of those funds, none of which come from taxpayers, to support the very families and children generating them. And yet that was dismissed. In fact, the argument that taxpayer dollars shouldn't be used was a central point in Mr. Dunlap's online commentary, making that all the more ironic. There also seems to be an online debate about what a partnership means. So for clarity's sake, here's a definition. Partnership is simply a collaborative effort, and that's what we asked for, collaboration. As a citizen, I had hoped that if a financial contribution wasn't an option, which truthfully it is, this council would explore how you could help in other meaningful ways. I did some research myself and created a list that I can leave here today on ways that cities can support regional projects even outside their city limits, whether through intergovernmental agreements, resource sharing, or strategic advocacy. My hope was that the city council would engage in this kind of creative thinking rather than dismiss the request altogether. I want to highlight the extensive efforts already made by the Rogers Youth Hockey Association. We've hosted a large fundraising gala, reached out to past alumni, engaged local and corporate businesses, and launched grassroots campaigns to raise support. All of that has been done, so we did not come to Otsego, quote, to ask you to build our rink for us. I've also heard claims that the city of Otsego feels it wasn't brought in early enough in the process to be asked for a partnership. I want to express the validity of that. However, we know for a fact that the city has at least been made aware of this need several times over the past decade. Twice in the past 2 years alone, through direct contact between our former Vice President, Bill Zacher, and the City of Otsego's City of Parks and Director, excuse me. So while there was no formal request made until recently, it's because we were told from the beginning that you weren't interested. Because the response was then and continues to be, why would we fund a facility outside our city limits? Therefore, we moved ahead with our plan And to be honest, I wanted to use the term partnership generously. We wanted to give the city an opportunity to step up so that we could possibly carry the name the Rogers Otsego Youth Hockey Association, since there are so many families from Otsego. Something that the Otsego residents could also take pride in. Otsego families make up more than 60%, we know this. Long story short, Rogers doesn't have an ice shortage. One rink is more than enough to serve the city of Rogers. It's the support we provide to Otsego families that pushes the limit, requiring to outsource ice to other arenas. This project impacts your residents, your kids. And I hope in the future this council will lead with transparency, collaboration, and respect for the citizens you are elected to serve. So tonight I leave you with two requests. First, I would like a public apology from Councilmember Ryan Dunlap for spreading a false narrative online about a request that was simply meant to better our community. It is not Mr. Dunlap's civic duty to belittle citizens. It is his duty to represent them. And what he's done is an attempt to make a mockery of residents involved in the Rogers Youth Hockey program. And while he may believe his online commentary sounds clever or superior, what it actually reveals is ignorance, arrogance, and unnecessary hostility. I want to remind the city on the importance of speaking truthfully and accurately on public forums representing the city, whether you agree with them or not. Second, I would like the city to reconsider allocating its charitable proceeds that come directly from the Rogers Youth Hockey Association. These funds would not come out of a single citizen's pocket and would be a great help to our association. I'm confident that even the city of Otsego residents who are not involved in hockey would support that request as a positive investment in youth and community development. This project is a positive step forward for our kids, our families, and our community. We'll continue to push forward with or without your help, but I'm truly hoping it's with, because I know what we are doing is right, and I hope this council will step up and do the same. I apologize, I probably was over 3 minutes, but thank you for listening.
Thank you. Thank you.
And I will leave this, or I can bring it to you.
You can give it to our clerk.
Madam Mayor,
Right.
as is our custom, I'll be making my comments under item number 6.
Do I sit back down or stay? Okay.
Is there any other comments? Any other comments? Open.
Okay. Hello, Jeannie Holland, Wright County Commissioner. I'm back again. After the last meeting, we were having a discussion on Parish Avenue, and the next day I went to talk to Chad, our highway engineer, and told him about the 40-mile-per-hour that kind of extends past 96. And so he took another look at it, and it does look like we will be able to have a flashing pedestrian sign or some kind of crosswalk over Parish Avenue to get, because of the trail that's going to be going on the east side.
Mhm.
He said at one point, he said that 45, you can't put a crosswalk with its 45 miles an hour. He said at some point we can bring that way down to 40, the whole strip, if you have dense housing, because at some point you guys were maybe considering some apartments or, some kind of dense housing along that eastern corridor, then he could. But being as it's 40 now, he's been talking with the city, and it looks very positive that we will be able to have that crosswalk there. So I thought that was really good news. I thought I'd share it with you. He wanted to extend a thank you to, he said, the city of Otsego staff, you guys are very good to work with. The next thing is that we do have a special session. The commissioners are having a special board meeting August 3rd, and the bids are out. We have a longer period of public comment for the county than the city does. So the bids are coming in. We're going to have for the 37 by Costco. And we're going to have all those up and running and ready to go after our meeting in August. So he said, which I felt was quite funny, he said that Costco's been like on him like crazy. And he said
3 months ago, they asked if they could go ahead and if the county could just go ahead and do what they need to do for that road to get it started earlier. And he said, well, if they gave $2.5 million check to him, that he would certainly do that, because that is what MnDOT is going to be giving us. Tomorrow we are authorizing the first $1 million, and then in August we have the $1.5 million to finish out that road project. But he was very discouraged about the lag time that the MnDOT has for this project, because they have a very minimal effect on our roads. It's basically the ramps. And he said it was taking just as long as if they were redoing 94. So he is going to get on MnDOT a little bit on that, because he is very discouraged on how long it took to get the signatures. But I thought I'd relay that to you so you kind of know where things are going. And he said, again today, I reiterated, will that work? And he said yes. And then if there is a crossing, generally with board approval, and it usually happens, that we in concert with the city will make that crosswalk. So on Parish, we will input some money for that. So just wanted to let you know. I thought that was really encouraging news. And then too, with 37, we might be up and running soon here. And he said he's got a lot of interest. A lot of contractors are expressing interest. So he's, really confident it's going to go well and going to go quick from this point on. Any other questions? I hope I can answer.
Corey?
Madam Mayor,
Yeah.
Jeannie, thank you.
Yeah.
That crosswalk on Parish will be awesome. I mean, it's of
Yes.
great concern, and I appreciate you going to bat for us and for
Yes,
Otsego.
I know. Corey, my husband and I and grandkids, we like to bike that trail to Elk River, and we like to walk it. So I think it'll be so great. It's a busy road, and it'll be really nice to have that crosswalk. And I can't wait for that trail to be done. It'll be so nice. And then especially when we're utilizing 96 for the county park too. So. And again, thank you for staff for working so well with Chad. Not every city works as well as Otsego, I guess. So you guys have to be proud of that. And thank you for working so well with the county.
Well, thank you. I mean,
Thank
you come so often. It's like you're one of us here.
Yeah.
But it goes a long way. So we really
Yeah.
appreciate
Well,
it.
I'm glad, and truly anytime you guys have a concern or a question, feel free to reach out, and hopefully the next time I come, I have good news again.
And I was gonna say, I mean, our concerns with Parish Avenue go back to even when 169 was under construction. So this has been a long-term issue with people riding, and now we have the trail going in, but then just to now safely get them from the east to the west side if they're headed north. And obviously we need drivers to follow the speed limit, because a flashing sign doesn't change anything, but thank you for
Yes.
going to bat and asking the questions.
Oh yeah.
So
Anytime. Thanks so much. Oh,
Tina?
Yeah, Jeannie, thank you for Parish Avenue and all that you've done. And as I've said, and as Corey mentioned, we appreciate you coming, and you are part of our city. So thank you.
Yeah.
Quick question. I just want clarification, if I may. You mentioned that you're having a special session on August 3rd. For County Road 37, have these bids already come in? Are you going to get your answer on the 3rd?
they're coming in. They're starting to come in now.
Okay.
And then as soon as we accept the bids, then we're gonna go forward.
And that's on August 3rd?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
And tomorrow's the day that we accept the $2 million from MnDOT.
Okay.
So
Perfect.
it's sliding right along.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah. You bet.
Anyone else? Okay, thank you.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, this is still open forum. Any other comments?
Kathy Coles, 15613 90th Street Northeast. It's now the end of July, and Coburn's has not made any effort yet whatsoever to close their dumpster or to bring their garbage inside after the completion of their expansion, their 8,000 square foot expansion. So I was wondering when the city was going to enforce the regulations regarding enclosing the dumpster and not having garbage sitting outside. So I have pictures of the stuff that I have to look at every day if you guys want to see them.
Are you
So-
okay with leaving them?
I'll share.
Follow-up would be Dan on that one.
Mayor, we can follow up this week on that.
And you have Kathy's contact.
I do have Kevin's.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other comments? All right, we will close the open forum and move on to item 2 to consider our agenda for approval. Does anyone have anything that they would like to add or delete at this time? Adam?
Mayor, council, staff would request to add item 7.2 to accept the resignation. Materials were distributed to the dais for the council.
Madam Mayor,
That's right.
I'd like to bring down 3.3 from the consent agenda. We can make that 6.1.
Any other changes? A motion would be in order.
Madam Mayor,
That's right.
I move to approve the agenda as amended.
There's a second.
Second.
Motion by Ryan, seconded by Michelle. Is there any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Moving on to our consent agenda, a motion would be in order.
Madam Mayor,
That's right.
I move to approve the consent agenda as amended.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Ryan, seconded by Michelle. Is there any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Moving on to utilities under 4.1, Well House 4 Drinking Water Improvement Project. And we have a presentation this evening by AE2S. Good evening.
Madam Mayor, Council,
Hello again.
hello again. Try to keep this one pretty quick. This item came up last week, so it's not following our typical process of bringing these through Public Works Subcommittee first before they come in front of council, because one of these items does have a timeliness to it. So Adam, if we could go to the next slide. So this is a summary of the previously approved plus considered this evening change orders. One of them, the number 9, is the one with the and this, I think this got slightly out of order in the RCA. I think it is correct. The table is correct in the slide. So number 9 is the one that the $41,000 number is the one that is more of a timely item. The other 3 to be considered, I added just because we were here anyway. So if we could go to the next slide. So as I typically do with Public Works Subcommittee, put these in order of largest magnitude to smallest. So essentially this one, the summary is that it was an item that got missed in the bid documents. The grout in that slopes the floor in the bottom of the backwash tank is really a necessary item. And so it's something that I think I know how it happened with some of the other notes, that there was a different sloped note. There was a different part on that page. So it just got missed by a couple people through the design. It got missed by Minnesota Department of Health on their review. And really that the project manager for this job thought it was in there right up until our field individual said, no, it's not in there. Everybody thought it was in there and it wasn't. So we did get it was kind of a surprise, which is why it came up so suddenly, and worked through with the contractor to get the estimate on there. The timeliness piece of it is that to stay on the critical path, that tank actually has a concrete cover on that tank. And if we waited to do this work later when that concrete cover was already in there, it would be confined space entry for the construction workers, which adds a lot of work for them because it's a safety item at that point. So if we delayed it, it would add about another $8,000 is the contractor's estimate for that additional work. So trying to avoid that, came directly to council instead of through Public Works Subcommittee. So that's the biggest single item on there. Go to the next one. These next three, these would have come to the next Public Works Subcommittee meeting. The two valves, it's really the difference between the couple of different filters that were bid. One of the filters that was not the winning filter would have needed those type of valves. The one that we ended up getting could do it with the manual valve, so we save a little bit there with the winning equipment. And then the next item on there, just something that came up after the original design, using a different style of chemical feed pump just to be consistent with some of the other locations in town, helps to also save a little bit of money. So made sense to move ahead with that. And then the last item was really a constructability adjustment that the contractor had requested that made sense. And, you know, we asked for a little bit of labor back to approve that adjustment. So a relatively minor change there. So put the aggregate of those three together, or those four items, it's about 0.45%, 0.45% of the overall project. It would bring our total usage of the 5% contingency up to 1.23%. So it would eat into our contingency a little bit more, but the nature of these, we would request approval by the council.
So I think,
Also questions.
yeah, I have a question, Madam Mayor. So the total area that we're addressing is 1,400 square feet. Is that correct?
I don't have those numbers off
Oh.
the top of my head.
I'm just reading.
If that's what it says in there,
Yeah,
in
that's
our
what it
packet,
says. Yeah, and I'm just trying to, I mean, it seems reasonable. It's already work that's in place. There's quite a bit of effort that goes into making these adjustments for what we haven't read. I'm talking about the whole, the 40,000 for change order 009 is what I'm referring to. So making that adjustment. Yeah, there's quite a bit of work that goes into something like that. So it makes sense to me from a pricing perspective and a cost per square foot based on the amount of work effort. So any other items I'm comfortable with.
Corey?
Madam Mayor, Scott, talked about this earlier, but, are there any alternates that we could do to maybe offset some of this? And any other bids, or how, I'm not quite sure how that works.
Since we're already in construction, there's probably not a good way to offset this one. It's something that should have been in the original bid and was not. So it's really work that just should have been included and was inadvertently left out of the original bid documents.
And
It's specifically the sloping of the bottom of that tank.
And it's critical.
Right. And
Yeah.
so there's contingency that the project has been set up with, and I believe that there's still going to be money left over in that contingency fund.
Correct.
After this.
I get that. I was just asking if there was an alternate way of doing
Yeah,
this.
realistically, this one, it's a code issue that even the regulatory reviewers missed this one.
Sure. Yeah, it happens.
Any other comments? Otherwise, a motion would be in order.
Madam Mayor,
Ms. Ryan?
I move to approve the change order proposals as indicated in the table above in the amount of $30,456.76 to Market and Johnson, and grant a 7-day extension to the substantial and final completion dates.
Second.
Motion by Ryan, seconded by Tina. Is there any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those against it, same sign. Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Scott.
Thanks,
Thank
Scott.
you.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.
Moving on to Public Works, item 5.1, under the Stormwater Pollution Prevention Program. We'll turn this over to our city engineer.
Thank you, Mayor. This is an annual sort of a housekeeping item that the MPCA requires the city review their stormwater pollution prevention program at a council meeting. But every year the city does reviews 20% of its outfalls, and this is the 6th year that this program has been in place. So this is the first year that we are reviewing areas that we've already reviewed before. So before we'd have maybe 5 to 6 items every year that we find that need to be completed, required to be maintained. And this year we only found 1. And I think that's because we've already addressed almost every single issue, and it's only been 5 years, and there's not a lot to find in 5 years on a stormwater pond or a stormwater outlet. So every year we have to take a look at every single outlet that goes either to major creeks like Otsego Creek or to rivers, Crow River and the Mississippi. And the stars on here show the outfalls of the city stormwater system into those creeks and rivers. So those are checked every year. And then the next slide. So we have all these structures throughout the city on every single storm pond. So we divided it into 5 zones throughout the city. And then once every 5 years, we take a look at that quintile area. So then this year, I think the next slide shows maybe this is this year's area, which would be the southeast section of the city. And then the next slide, I think we have just what the MPCA we hand out to developers so they understand, and builders so they understand what they're required to do. And let's see the next slide after that. And this is part of that same thing. It just shows what the contractors or a builder is supposed to maintain on their stormwater site. You can see a silt fence around it and the stabilized exit and entry pad, all those items and how they're supposed to handle their own waste containers and their own stockpiles within the site. So then on the next slide, and then every year we have the 4 newsletters that go out, and once a year, usually in the spring, we put out the stormwater pollution so that the residents know what an illicit discharge is and how to handle those. Dog pet waste pickup, motor oil coming off of cars, just grass and leaves going into the curb, those sort of things. It would all be illicit discharges. The next slide. So then this year, this is the area that we did in 2024. I guess it's on the west side of town. And this was the only one that we found was that the grout within that structure was crumbling and needs to be repaired. So that was the only thing. I don't know if this inspection was done almost a year ago. I don't know if, I'm assuming that has already been taken care of by the street department. I haven't checked with Kevin though. And I think that might be it. Yep. So if you guys have any questions or any residents have any questions or comments, please let us know.
Okay. I will turn it over to public comment first and then any council. Any residents care to comment? Please come to the podium and state your name and address. I'll ask one more time. Any comments on the stormwater pollution prevention program in the city of Otsego? Okay, hearing none, we'll come back up to council. Do you have any questions for the engineer? There's no action needed. We just have to accept your presentation. All right.
Thanks, Ron.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ron.
All right. Moving on to city council reports and updates. We have item 6.1. Ryan, you pulled that down.
Yes, Madam Mayor, I just wanted to bring this down for a separate vote. I oppose this action because our city is able to receive excellent service from our existing contract providers at a price point that is cost efficient for the taxpayer.
Okay. Corey,
Madam Mayor, I'll make a motion to approve pay application number 7 in the amount of $1,093,596.19 for work completed on the fire and emergency service facility project.
Second.
Motion by Corey, seconded by Tina. Is there any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
I,
All those opposed, same sign.
Aye.
Motion passes 4-1. All right, we will go through updates and then we'll check in with everyone. First item is heritage preservation. Corey.
thanks, Madam Mayor. OHPC met, this month and we discussed items for the upcoming Prairie Festival celebrating Otsego's 35 years. Stuff like celebrating, our timeline, with different milestones the city has achieved. So we're currently working towards getting that ready.
I did also include some information in my mayor's corner.
Oh, good.
Parks and Rec, Michelle.
So we met last time out at Lily Pond, that park, for the potential improvements, and we met out on site to get feedback directly from the community and the neighbors that are adjacent to this park. Got some feedback with a nice representation of the neighborhood. I guess there was about several comments that just went directly online versus people that showed up. Did rain a little bit, but we were protected. Shelter was there, so that was good. So the feedback was, we did get some feedback information results already from Parks and Rec. And it looks like lots of positive comments on what's already there, kind of continuation of what they have. Tennis courts are used quite frequently. The basketball courts are used frequently, or the court is used frequently. Some suggestions in regards to maybe keeping the existing equipment and just repairing those. Unfortunately, over a period of time, I think that equipment is like 30 years old. And after about 20 years, it's hard to get replacement parts for that equipment. So that was my understanding from Nick. So that's why we generally do practice replacing those after a certain period of time, just so we can get replacement parts on the new equipment. So we're going to proceed down the path of looking at different options to improve the park based on the responses, and we'll go from there. And that's it.
Perfect, thank you.
Oh, wait, the dock is in.
All right.
Yes.
Eric's.
Herrick's Landing.
Yeah.
Yep. So that's the other thing.
Madam
That's
Mayor,
it now.
could I add something?
Sure.
So yeah, we had a great turnout there. One of the
Mhm.
things that came up, one of the residents there mentioned they're having the issue of dirt bikes and e-bikes stuff over there late at night. There was a resident whose mother passed away not too long ago, but she got buzzed by one of these dirt bikes flying around in ATVs and knocked her over, and she was on chemo at that time. And it's tough because they come out at 8, 9 o'clock at night, and when people come around, they take off through the trees, just like Sergeant Altman was telling us. So I think maybe we have to talk about over there what we can do.
Did you pass that on, or is this the first time?
I did, but he's got it.
He's got an update. Okay.
Yep.
Thank you. Planning Commission, right?
Madam Mayor, the Planning Commission met and discussed updates to the comprehensive plan. The meeting that is scheduled for next week has been canceled. The next meeting is scheduled for August 18th.
He's looking to get information. Okay.
So far it'll happen. He didn't say no.
He didn't say no. Public safety, Tina.
Public safety, it seems like so long ago. We met on the 8th of July. We didn't have a quorum, so we couldn't vote on anything, but we had residents in and had some discussions in regards to speed limits, e-bikes, golf carts, the whole gamut. Again, nothing was approved or denied. We just had discussions. Brian was in from Alina. He brought in the medical director. His name is Dr. Nick Maleska. He's an emergency medicine physician. Very nice guy. It was nice to finally meet him. That's really about it.
Okay, thank you. All right, we are still under City Council reports and updates. Does anyone have anything?
Madam Mayor,
Yes, Ryan.
I'll just address the comments that were made during the open forum section. I'm not gonna discuss the personal attacks on my character. I think it's a waste of everyone's time to do that. But I will say that my comments are part of the public record, included in the minutes that were approved here tonight. The decision was unanimous to deny the request. I think if anyone has any questions about why I made that decision, I'm more than willing to talk about it, but I think the other stuff is just kind of not worth anyone's time, so.
All right, any other comments? All right, we will move on to staff reports and updates. Item 7.1 is consider scheduling a special city council meeting for budget review on August 11th.
Yes, Mayor, Council, staff would request a budget review meeting for that evening, starting at either 5:30 or 6, leading into the regular meeting. Proposed budget topics include special revenue funds and debt service funds.
Okay, can everybody get out their calendars? Does 5:30 work?
30 said?
5:30 works.
Yeah, it works. Whatever works.
5:30.
5:30.
Okay. I will make a motion to call for a special city council meeting for budget review on August 11th at 5:30.
Second.
Motion by Jessica, seconded by Corey. Is there any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Item 7.2, Adam.
Mayor, Council, materials were presented to you at the beginning of the meeting this evening to accept the resignation of Emergency Services Director Roush, effective August 30th. Due to health matters, Mr. Roush needs to focus his full energy and attention on recovery of that. And there is a letter attached with your materials with that. So the request would be to accept that resignation effective August 30th.
Is there any comments? I'm going to make one, Daryl's in the back, but I just would like to say it's with a heavy heart that we do accept your resignation. I offer my prayers for strength, comfort, and most of all healing as you navigate your upcoming months, Daryl.
Mayor, I would definitely second that, of course, Daryl. Prayers and thoughts are with you and your family, and we hope nothing but the best for you.
Corey.
Madam Mayor, Daryl, you know, I didn't know what quite to make of you at first. You know, you're a John Deere guy, and I like to give you a hard time, but I appreciate really getting to know you and working alongside you and with you. And I hope you take this time to focus on yourself. You've been focusing on taking care of other folks for a long time, so appreciate everything you've done. You're a class act.
Madam Mayor. Daryl, I'm so sorry that you need to leave in this format. I wish you could stay longer, but understand and appreciate the fact that you've been here as long as you have and you took on this challenge for our city when you didn't have to. So thank you. Thank you for your service. And I hope everything works out as well as it possibly can.
Madam Mayor. Chief, thank you for your service.
All right, we need a motion to accept this.
Madam Mayor,
Yes, Ryan.
I will move to accept the resignation of Daryl Roush from the position of Emergency Services Director effective August 30th, 2025.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Ryan, seconded by Michelle. Is there any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes. All right, we are still under staff reports and updates. Adam.
Mayor, Council, there is a budget meeting scheduled for next Monday, beginning at 12 p.m. Please watch for additional correspondence about that meeting later this week, including the packet materials that will go out on the website, of course, as well. But keep an eye on your email, and if I don't hear back, I will certainly follow up with you. So thank you. No other updates.
Thanks.
I have a question.
Yes.
Are you guys going to throw printed copies off in our inboxes as well?
Yes, Mayor, Council, a printed copy will be provided as well as electronic of the full budget document that will be.
Thank you.
Audra.
Thank you, Mayor. I have no updates.
Moving on to the attorney, Dave.
No updates. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Dan,
No update, Mayor.
Ron,
Mayor, just some project updates. The overlay project for the city of Otsego starts tomorrow. It'll start in Dewar Creek and work its way from that western side of the city towards the east. Includes Zimmer Farms area. I think it includes Odine Avenue and Queens Avenue and a few other developments in town. The message board trailer has been out in front of that and will continue to be out in front of it as it progresses throughout the city.
Great.
And we are using those, keeping all those millings for future use for the city where it's needed. The other projects we have is the Odine Avenue water main, and that's going to be starting here in August. We also have the Marlow McIver Avenue roundabout, and with County Road 137 shutting down that interchange or intersection at 137 and McIver. It's an opportune time to also close Marlow and McIver, and then all the traffic will be rerouted with the detour that the MnDOT, or not MnDOT, but the county be putting together. So when that project starts, Costco will start doing the roundabout and their water main upgrades. The trails, 80th Street and Parish, just had the contracts here tonight, signed by the mayor and the clerk, and that will be started September 1st. They do have a deadline date of October 1st, so it will move very quickly. Well, that's all I have.
thank you.
You're welcome.
Daryl,
Evening.
evening.
First of all, thank you for your comments. I'll likely have more to say at a future meeting. Right now, my family and I are kind of processing all the information that we got a week ago. So we got a month left. It's going to be a busy month. The community risk reduction team is about being active. We've been to a number of events. I'd like to invite everybody to participate in Night to Unite next Tuesday. We'll be out in the neighborhoods. If you haven't requested a visit yet, you can do that through the park department. Call Connie at Park and Rec, and she can line that up for you. We'll also be out driving the neighborhoods looking for events as well. Even if we're not scheduled, we may just kind of crash them for a little bit. So
You probably have good food.
yeah, that's really the only reason we're coming. There's usually good food out there. Next week, a week from now, is 12th and 13th, we will be finalizing the order for the final 2 trucks. We'll be up at Appleton, Wisconsin at the factory. We did, over the last 2 Wednesdays, we spent about 6 hours each day finalizing the spec and reviewing the original order, looking at what options have changed or maybe been updated since we placed the order over 2 years ago. So we'll finalize that order, actually sign the construction documents when we're at the factory. And the first truck will be delivered in April. That will be the ladder truck. The second truck will be delivered in May. And that will be the rescue engine. Okay. So I'd like to recognize the community risk reduction team. They have been invaluable in helping with those specs, making sure that I didn't miss something. You know, the older you get, the more likely you are to miss things. And the other day, the doctor referred me to an archaeologist, so I think I'm getting pretty old now. So. All right. So, any questions? All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Daryl.
All right, Jason.
I'm gonna try to time this. We got like the storm coming in, so I'm sure the west part of the county is gonna start getting hammered by whatever we got coming. I'm kind of watching it out the window at the same time here. So I have a complaint. Corey has the most formal text messages that when you
Do I?
The AI actually, like, your text message to me, you did it so formal and like in such a like perfect manner and like perfect grammar and periods. Clearly it knows like something's up and it actually flags you as spam
Spam.
because it's so used to, I'm gonna
Well-
guess. So I'm like looking at it, I happen to be going through my spam and here's this message from Corey and it's even got your like, it's got your name and everything.
Like he doesn't like me.
So AI apparently doesn't like, so.
Well, it's the first time. Usually I spell Corey wrong. So
So I don't know what's going on there. So I have a couple things from the weekend. So I took a 5 different traffic complaints that have occurred over the last couple days here. I have taken it from council members. I have taken it from the sheriff's email distribution list, one to my email, one to 911 dispatch, and the other one was 5 different ways of receiving it. So, and 5 different complaints. So I'm trying to take each one and try to prioritize and where to put the resources. I'm not sure if I'd mentioned the sheriff's office actually just got 3 new various types of speed trailers. They're 3 different types. One of them is a covert one that literally just gets set up on a post and it has like a little radar thing on it and just receives data. It doesn't display things. As we found out with the last speed trailer from the city, sometimes people like to go set a high speed record, as we found with one of those numbers,
Yes.
which we do not want. Look, one of the speed trailers that we have actually, you can turn it off after the display will turn off at a certain speed so that we don't run into that particular issue where people are trying to see how high they can get up. So I'm working with the lieutenant. Apparently those just came in. That was an end of year budget item that finally got arrived sometime last month here. So I'm working with the lieutenant of if there's spots in Otsego that we can put them. And I go, we've got a whole bunch of different spots that we can put them to the point of the different ATVs. So I've spoken with actually a few different city councils other than Otsego here, namely St. Michael, Elderville, and we're still working on all the e-bike stuff and different motor vehicles. So I made quite a few stops myself just to try to get a feel for how this is going. I will say that I took a complaint about 4 e-bikes the other night. It was last Tuesday, and they all 4 went in different directions as teenagers and technically committed felonies by fleeing from the police on a motor vehicle. So that's where we're at. So an uphill battle for sure, but
We need to get you an e-bike.
that's what we need to do is get me in a helmet out there.
so it could be like chips. Remember that show?
Yeah, there you go.
It will not get me in shorts, I know. So that is a work in progress. So I'm trying to communicate with everybody that's involved in there and just trying to put the patrol in the right spots, like I said, and prioritize it as it's coming in. We're definitely getting the stakeholders involved with that. We just kind of had a county-wide email about how to enforce it and how to approach it. There's other cities that are frustrated with it too. So clearly not just Otsego that's taking complaints, but tons of complaints on them.
What is the Wright County Sheriff's Office kind of stance on it? Or
So
'cause I've seen other counties are putting out information.
yeah, so I guess we're trying to go off of the level of egregiousness on the public safety side, looking at we're not going to go out necessarily and hammer, is what level bike is this on the path? We're not going to necessarily do traffic stops on 14-year-olds on those. However, we're going to kind of start going off of the fact that they're all moving really quick. So we're going to go after the speed side of things and the fact that you have to be 15 years of age to be on them. The state statute doesn't differentiate for e-bikes. It just says you have to be 15. It doesn't specify public versus private. So we're just kind of going off of you have to be 15 to be able to be on an e-bike. If it doesn't have pedals, we're going off of essentially the translation or the interpretation that it's a dirt bike, which creates its whole other thing. So we're kind of having forced into stepping up the enforcement on it just because they've been completely unpredictable. I mean, just like I said, the example that I gave of last Tuesday, one of the 911 callers, I witnessed the behavior myself. They were passing vehicles that were on the road. So that's how fast they were going. So
And we did have an accident with two young people with,
it was a scooter,
oh,
motorized
scooter. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But it's falling along the same category. That's, I mean, motorized scooters, hoverboards, e-bikes, dirt bikes, electric dirt bikes. I mean, they're all just everywhere right now. So, I guess we want to reiterate, like, it's summer. We want the kids out and about, like, enjoy the weather while you still can, and not having jobs while you still can. So we want them out and about. We don't want to be in the business of doing traffic stops on teenagers under the age of 15. But we're kind of getting to the point where we got to change up the behavior because it's just behavior on our side of things too. So of how to enforce it. So it's a work in progress. We're all trying to get the philosophy down and trying to have the right philosophy, I guess, behind it and how we want to do things. Like I said, it's a difficult balance. I don't like to be in the business of doing traffic stops on 13 or 14-year-olds, but we're kind of at that point. I didn't relay, I think the last council meeting, I think there's the lieutenant that supervises the area, the northeast part of the county. I just looked at city of Otsego, and I think we were just up 7% to date as far as the first 6 months of the year, 7% more calls for service than the previous year. I don't think that's an egregious number by any means or anything to really write home about. It's a notable number just because that's where we're at. Can be simply attributed to the fact that there's just more people in town, and that's just where we're at. So not a number that's not supposed to change anybody's opinion or any action or anything like that. Just there's a number. So unless there's further questions on that, I have a whole bunch of stuff that I go over, but I feel like I'll be up here for another hour. So I'll call her good for that. Unless somebody has more questions, I can go off.
Anyone have anything?
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sergeant.
All right. If no one else has anything else, then a motion to adjourn would be in order.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Tina, seconded by Michelle. Is there any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Meeting is ended. Thank you all for attending.
For those that have to travel, you might want to get going